All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for our Monday Zoom and Learns. Today we have, I guess, a lot of information, right, in regards to marketing and tips and tricks and different things that potentially could help you spike your business. And Samantha Hays and Mary Jane Morris and myself are all going to be dropping a little bit of knowledge today with you, but we would ask that this be a very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Lighthearted as compared
Not
to
one-sided, but yeah, if you guys
Yeah.
have questions or suggestions or what have you, we'd like you guys to feel free to ask. So without further ado, I guess we can do introductions. I'll go first and hand it off to you guys. Everybody, my name is Tommy Dutcher. I'm the area sales manager for California Title. If we haven't had the opportunity to chat to see how I can help you in your business, I have put my information into the chat. You can also get all my information online at my website, which is listed in the bottom corner of my picture. And my co-hosts are Mary Jane Morris. Mary Jane.
Hi, everybody. I hope everyone had a nice Thanksgiving. We purposely chose a lighter topic today from after all the back and forth over the new forms and the potential settlement and all that. And we know we're all going to have a big, big year getting into that and getting everybody ready for that in time for a second quarter landing. Many of you have taken me up on booking classes. I think we have 8 classes booked and 5 of them are with TC. So don't forget that you can have your own private event for your agents and we'll come support you. Whichever one of us you are more comfortable with, we'd be happy to help you out. Sam's definitely your San Diego go-to, and I'm more Riverside, LA counties. Today, we wanted to talk a little bit about marketing things that we've all had and worked, and we know they work. And as Tommy said, we intended this to just be more lighthearted and certainly throw those tips out there. We'd like to hear what worked for you, what doesn't work for you. So I'm going to be talking about door knocking when it's my turn, but let me kick it to my partner here, Sam, and let her introduce herself. And Sam, why don't you lead us off today?
Okay, well, I am Sam Hays. I'm One Stop Transaction Services. I've been doing this almost 20 years, and I'm a big forms nerd, and I love talking about all things real estate, supporting my agents and my transaction coordinators. So if you're a TC out there and haven't joined, we have a TC group as well, trying to help ourselves to support our agents and our escrow, title, and lender partners so we can all stay connected and educated. Do you want me to go ahead then, Mary Jane, start with my list? Okay, great. So I'm going to come from a slightly different perspective. I have a very extensive service-oriented Buffini background where I can see things a little bit differently because I've seen what works for my agents and not over the years. Biggest thing I'm going to tell you right now is go get your CRM fixed. Whatever you have for your database, whatever you're using, go clean it up now. It's going to be life-changing over the next year, and you need to get through there and see, do you have any live leads, not live leads? Biggest thing you can do, the biggest benefit is just make sure you're doing a little bit of maintenance on that at least once a week. It's going to be it's much easier when it's little bits and pieces, because that's going to let you do all the things we're about to tell you to do and make it much easier for you. The other thing is, remember, the whole point of any of the marketing stuff we're doing is to connect with your clients from a place of service, knowledge, and value. That we know the world's challenging right now. It's been challenging for a few years, and sales is hard for everyone. But when you're coming from a place of help and support, it's amazing how much easier it is. And when you're coming from a place of just genuine, I want to connect with other humans, it comes off a lot smoother and easier for you. One of the ones that I do that's been in my family that's going to seem a little morbid for this time of year, but it actually is very helpful. My sister is a certified financial planner, and she has seen many things go sideways with people's estates because they didn't have proper documentation for the trusts, took things out, put them back in, didn't have proper wills, had extended family that didn't properly have their documentation. Connect with, and I can refer you to, I also have a great lawyer. I would touch base with your clients and make sure that they have put everything back into their trust. Make sure they have everybody signed up. Have they reviewed their wills recently? It's year end and things happen, and everybody also is in town. So a lot of times when you need all these random family signatures, we tend to, during the holidays, get everybody together and we do go over some of the not fun stuff to talk about, but reality based. And that may not be the most warm fuzzy, but it can be potentially life-changing. I know we've all worked on files where we've seen, unfortunately, things have gone to probate and we've seen what that can do to a family that's worked really hard. So that's one of the skills and benefits that we can bring to this.
And to add to that real quick,
shoot,
is, you know, from a marketing perspective on that, as well as right now, when things start to slow down a bit and you have time, it's that time to go back and readdress some of your past files, right? And if you realize in a past file that a property that you closed on 6 months, 8 months, a year ago is not sitting in a trust, that is a way of opening the door for another conversation with them, right? And as long as you have some referral partners that you know, like, and trust on the attorney side, you know, it could be a benefit of being able to reach out to them and explain to them why it's so important, right? And then it keeps you top of mind with them.
Because again, it's just a benefit, and you and that attorney can set up a relationship as well. I mean, there's multiple levels of it. So I agree with you completely that it's taking a stock of what you did this year and going back and seeing how can you provide some service for your clients, how can you prepare them. I mean, that ties into the usual, everybody, you know, send the closing statements, go back through and do that. Also, do you have the dates of the anniversaries for your clients' closings? Go back and update and get your calendar prep for next year so you can be sending them happy 1 year, happy 5 year, happy 3 year. Hey, we did that sale last year. Just want to touch base with you and see where you're at now. Make sure, how's any real estate needs? How's the new house? Do you need anything? It's another thing of going back, like you said, to review those files and just make sure. And that you can also be updating your CRM when you're looking at your CRM. That's information you can be keeping in there as well.
Yep.
Let's see. I had one that you can send your closing statements out with little packets of Excedrin and bottles of water that you're here to help with all the headache needs. If you're going to pop by and see them in person. Another thing that I come from is one of Tina's, actually this is Tina's idea, so she can pop on, but Tina has the whole thing about sending out Santa letters that you can touch base with your clients. And you can have letters sent from Santa all the way from Alaska and come back. It's a whole prep system, but she's got it all down. She's a great resource for it. She's already said she's got her letter coming back, which I think is great.
Yeah, another one on that too is anybody who you closed this year in this calendar year. It doesn't matter what month they closed it. A perfect letter or card at the end of the year to them is, hey, congratulations on your new home, but the year is getting ready to close out, and what comes next is tax season. Here's a list of things that you will need for your upcoming taxes now that you bought a home, right? Closing statements, things like that. And then it gives them a way of coming back to you and saying, oh, how do I get this or how do I get that, right? And in most cases, if you don't have it in your file, you can just go back to the escrow officer that managed the file for you and they would have it. But, you know, it just shows that, hey, you're looking out for my best interest. You're giving me a heads up that, you know, I'm going to need certain things for taxes. And I'm already in the process of gathering things for my CPA or for my tax accountant or whoever, right? And so it's kind of like a reminder.
For the transaction coordinators, you could give your best clients back a stack of their closing statements so that they can get them out on their way. They will definitely remember that.
Well, it's also be ahead of it too, because I know the escrow officers get slammed right around tax time. And at some point they're like, they have files to close that are current. So the sooner you can get it done and kind of get a heads up, plus connecting with your clients really is helpful. So we want to remember that all of us do still have our other businesses when we're asking favors. So just give enough breathing room when you can. Emergencies will happen, as we all know.
That was going to be my next tip about keeping a good attitude as you get stressed through the holidays. I had we had 3 pie events last week, a couple of classes, the car forms, all that. Plus I had my own Thanksgiving to throw off. And I did notice that I was on a slippery slope of heading for a bad mood if I didn't pull up. So I actually kind of pride myself that you can't get me to speak rudely to you under any circumstances. But I did notice that I was human this week and that I was heading for snippy. So don't forget about just plain old. They don't need, remember in the old days, Tommy and Sam probably remember this, that they used to tell us to always sound like that's the only file you have. And
Yeah.
you have nothing else to do but this. That was a good reminder for me this week. When I was at an escrow officer at a title company in San Diego, they gave us little mirrors to put by our phone so we could see our face before we picked up a phone. And I thought it was ridiculous when they first gave it to us, but a couple of scowls later, you'll notice that it's very useful.
Well, and your voice changes and you sound different when you want to have the conversation versus why am I answering a phone call? It's a very different tone, and as limited communication as we are now, same thing goes into with your texts and such. Broadening your communication skills, making sure you're very complete in your sentences. Text does not convey sarcasm, joy. For some reason, it conveys anger pretty well and frustration, but not the others. So you definitely want to just take a little bit of time, and there's only so many emojis you can jam in at once, so that can be a problem.
Yeah.
Then the other thing I thought about too was if you have a farm, being in the holiday season, you got a couple of options. One, find out about when they're doing Christmas tree removals in your neighborhood. How's that happening in that farm area? And get that information out so people can be planning ahead. You also can be talking to them. Maybe there's a professional light stringer, light decorator that you might be able to do an exchange with, where you share their information to your database, they share your information to theirs. Maybe you can get a discount coupon with them or something. These are also great opportunities to do some videos. You should be getting in front of your clients doing videotaping how they do the lights going up, videotaping just a quick conversation about if you're going to do your own lights, here's the top 5 things that could go wrong. Here are the top 5 really cool little tricks that you can do at home. You need to start getting more and more on video. You're going to see that over the next year, even more so. With everything that's going on, video is really a key way. People just don't have the patience, and we've all been online so much just reading. Video in short form tends to be a bigger capture.
People, I want to add to that, and that is actually called a professional farm, where you keep a group of lawyers, or you keep a group of termite guys, and you keep a group of whatever is the service that, and you should be working with them. One of our teams here in town did a real fun, when COVID was going on and everybody was eating out, they did a restaurant bingo form that they attached. They partnered with 12 restaurants who put it on the top of every box that went out the door. And if you collected the 5 receipts in any particular order, there was a $100 gift card for you, but it went out on the top of 12 different restaurants boxes, plus the agents farmed it into the territories. I want to stop for 1 second before I forget again and say that we did have a question this morning, Tommy and Sam, about that our group appears to be more for GCs or more for agents. I get the comment one way or the other. And so I took the time this morning to explain to people that this group is for both. Obviously, you have an interest in real estate, even if you're not a licensee or even if you're not practicing real estate. Knowing what's going on and being ahead of the curve is knowledge is safe. I'm a little older than Sam, so I'll take the chance and say that training has been what I've done from the day I went out in the field. Like I really felt like I had nothing else to offer. It absolutely has been, you can't believe how many people are grateful to have it. When you have a great team here of people who are willing to come on and Zoom with you or make you look good, or come out and do events with you. So before I forget, and if Sam or Tom, you have anything to add about who we're supporting here, or
supporting really the real estate market, period.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a lender, if you're an agent, a broker, a TC, a title person, an escrow person. Everything that we cover here on a weekly will pertain to you in some way, right? If you're a lender, it's probably a good idea to see what the changes look like on those contracts so that when you see one come across, you understand it, right? If you're an agent and you use a great TC to do your contracts, you're still dealing with contracts before you hand it off. You know, I think there's a little bit for everybody. I think on some of the stuff that we'll cover today in regards to marketing and things may not pertain much to a TC, right? However, it does if you sit down and learn it, because then it gives you knowledge to drop off onto your clients that you deal with, right? I think it's really how you look at it. If you're not getting anything out of it, I would be shocked.
I think we all feel, and I certainly feel this way. This is my 42nd year in the business, and I did 20 years as an escrow officer and 20 years as a managing broker. And during that time in between, across both those, I owned a TC company. So all of you and all of your success is very dear to me, one way or the other. I do hope that the nuggets we give you will help you think about me when we're doing escrow or title, or you need a great TC if you're not a TC yourself. But I did want to address that for a moment before we got too far along. I hope that you will find something here today that, even if it's not for you, is a great tip for your agents. And I do have a couple for the TCs as we go as well. Sam's not really tooting her own horn today that she's how many days into her 30-day?
24 days today.
Every single morning, I see that she has recorded her video, created the materials that go with it. I took a 50 videos in a year challenge a couple of years ago, got pretty far down on it. I was nervous about doing videos at first but I have to tell you the unusual stuff is what catches their eye.
Yeah.
It's perfection doesn't sell anymore.
No.
They want to see you drop your coffee, or for your cat to walk through the picture, or whatever. They in fact, I encourage some of you to make, here's another tip, to make blooper reels, because they are often very funny. And
video in general, I mean, people think, or agents say to me, well, I'm not comfortable on video. You don't have to be, okay? The biggest, as you call them, bloopers, right? The most unrehearsed types of videos are the ones that get the best views and they get the best comments. And you need to look at video as brand marketing, because that's what it is. It's getting you out in front of people. And I know agents that took it to heart and would post 1-2 videos a day, would do short clips on reels and, stories and everything else. And after about 6 months of doing that, now they're becoming noticed in public places like the grocery store, et cetera. Like, oh, you're the guy who did this, or you're the gal who did this. It doesn't matter what it was. It could be the most embarrassing thing. Bottom line is they know who you are. And that's the most important thing. And video can do that for you. And people are going to work with people who they know, like, and trust, right? Well, you don't get to know somebody until you've had that meeting. But when you see them on video, regardless of where you see it, you start to feel like you're getting to know them.
It creates camaraderie. It creates that connection.
So you definitely, if you're not into video, that could be a whole nother marketing subject by itself. But I'll leave you with this. Your videos don't have to be long. Your videos really don't have to have a point. Right now, on every social platform, and I mean every single social platform that offers video posting, the short clips are what's getting priority right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Insta, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Twitter, whether you're on Snap, it doesn't matter. The short videos are getting priority. Okay. So if you have a video that is 3 minutes long, you could probably post 4 short clips out of that video in different platforms. Okay. You don't have to recreate, is what I'm getting at. You could go back to past videos you did and make short videos with them. You upload it, you pick the section you want of that 30 seconds, and it'll post. You don't have to go out and do it again. Just post, right? Get it out there. Let your brand become known now, right? Don't wait until the market is hot again and you don't have time.
Well, and remember, the shelf life of any post on any social media tends to be 24 hours. Videos have more longevity because it's something you can go back to and look at. And that was something that really hit me because I started doing more and more video during the start of COVID and everything else. And I will say it's changed my business and changed everything else. And circling back about the video and also about the servicing, I've run a TC group to support other TCs for, we're 13, 14 years now. All started with a cocktail party and here we are. And yes, we're all trying to get business, but you know what? If a TC needs me, I'm there. I was answering calls at 10:30 last night from TCs who needed support because they didn't know how to do a certain form or something like that. I'm with Tommy and Mary Jane. We're here as service. And, you know, everybody in the real estate industry right now needs support and service. There is enough business for all of us. There are clients I don't want to work with. There are clients you don't want to work with. It's great to have a network or somebody to refer off because you want to provide that service. And if you're not connecting, you're not going to be your best self. So I think when people, oh, that person's going to take business from me. Oh my God, if I can take the business from you, it wasn't your business.
Yeah.
Bottom line. So I'd rather come back and do this where we're here, just at least my intent, joining the two of you every week is that we want to support all real estate professionals and share information from all aspects, because the more well-rounded you are, the better you can understand why something's needed by the other parties in a transaction and see ahead and avoid pitfalls and avoid potholes because you didn't understand that, oh, well, why does escrow need this? Why does the lender need this? That's a really big thing of helping just that overall education, because there's just so much to learn.
I want to mention too that when I was a younger sales rep, when I first went out in the field after leaving the desk, agents sat in offices and you could find them in their offices. If you went enough times, they would be there. And there were times when there was a time when you couldn't even change offices unless you could take your farm with you, because the farming was, you know, the whole world back in those days. But one of the things that I've discovered, certainly through COVID, this is going to be my best tip for you, is that many people have their home address on the DRE.ca.gov. When you go to verify a license, and if you get good at reading addresses, you can almost tell when obviously a PO box is not going to be where a person is. Sometimes if I don't think the address looks funny to me, I go Google it real quick and I will see it's in mailboxes, etc., or whatever that sort of thing is. But I don't even market to agents and offices anymore. I market directly. Their checks go on their porch, their cookies go on the porch, their sympathy cards, their birthday cards, all of that goes straight through. And I no longer have a gatekeeper who's the minimum wage receptionist, you know, keeping me out of offices. So, right.
Which would be a great point for you and I and the TCs that are on this call. For an agent, you could be logging into my system and finding out exactly what their mailing address is to be able to send stuff out to, you know, a potential client or potential lead or a past client, et cetera, where you may have forgotten the address.
Well, it's the same action. It's just focusing on who is your client. Right. My client is an agent. My client is going to be escrow officers or title lenders for referrals. An agent is going in for, you know, individuals buying and selling. We're still doing the same behavior. It's still the same marketing. It's still the same concept. You just might have to tweak it a little bit so it fits.
Yep.
When I tell new TCs that we sell inconvenience, meaning we take inconvenience off the other person and we are inconvenienced for that time, some people actually get their back up about it. Like, no, I have certain hours and I'm only answering certain days and I don't answer my phone and they have to go through my voicemail and every other kind of roadblock. I have ignored those for years. I have had really good escrow officers tell me I'm putting myself out there too much.
Same.
I have been people have tried to talk me out of my kindness, for lack of a better word, you know, you know, there's a higher purpose for me as well that I won't get into here, you know, but, you know, we all do what we can contribute to this life. And for me, it's service first. And I know the other two feel this way as well. And I know, so I just want to say that we need to embrace inconvenience to a degree. That doesn't mean that the person who's abusing you, and now that's what I say. And then they'll say, well, can I really call you? And I say, up until we abuse it. And so, in fact, I joke now that when people call, the first words out of their mouth is, I'm so sorry to bother you. And I have to get past that to hear the question. So it's okay if you just say, hey, I got a question, dump it in. So,
I like answering the questions. One, it makes sure I know what the hell I'm talking about. But two, I like learning. I mean, that's something that's part of why I love this job.
Either seed or digging those deep roots. You know, that's what those calls. And we all have, I'm sure you all experience this too, that people who shouldn't be calling you were calling you. They were on the side of the transaction that shouldn't be you. They were impressed by you. This includes getting listings. Or, you know, when a person decides to sell again, they might remember that you were the person as opposed to the one they hired. It can be.
Yep.
Well, and you can still do, you know, it's one of those things where the follow-up, if you look at NAR and some of the research that they've done, the amount of people who don't know the name of their agent, they don't remember who did the transaction 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line. And you're missing out on an opportunity there where you could send them, hey, happy anniversary. I hope you're still happy in the house. It was great working with you again. If you're still working with an agent, you know, you can do the disclaimer, but you can send them a thank you for having me. That was great. I appreciate that a year ago. Or there are ways to do it so it's not, you know, it's just an overall just thank you. And it's definitely, you want to be aware. And if you know, there's, you know, agents don't have this as much. We have this issue more with DCs. If you're aware of somebody working with a client already, I'm not going to send marketing to them. That's poor form. And if that agent wants me, they'll reach out to me. I've had it happen. If they want to shift, they know how to find me. So I think that's something we've got to get over.
And if anything's ever going to be awkward, they're going to hear it from me first. We used to joke about dialing phones. We don't really have to dial like we used to, but dial faster than the other person because they believe the first thing they hear. So if I have a difficult situation, the agent or my TC is going to hear about it from me, not
as soon as possible.
Yep, as soon as possible.
All right, Sam, what was your last point that you
my last one is set up, you know what, again with a farm and TCs can, anybody could do this, is set up a donation pickup. So in January, everybody's going to be like, I'm sick of all this stuff. Let them know now. So as they are going through the holiday items, as new things come in with gifts or whatever, people can be prepping and preparing that they know come January 15th, there's going to be a donation pickup in the neighborhood. And they know that they can start the year fresh and have all the stuff getting out of their house. It's a great way. Plus it gives you a couple of opportunities to touch base with them, not only for the holidays, but also right afterwards. And then you can do it semi-annually and keep moving forward. Yeah.
Yeah, I know some agents that this time of year will send out a dual-sided postcard. One side will have their information on it and a little bit of verbiage in regards to what's on the backside. And the backside will have a dozen of their service individuals that they feel comfortable referring, right? It's a plumber, it's an electrician, it's somebody to hang Christmas lights, it's somebody that'll pick up stuff at the end of the year and trash and everything else, whatever that is. And they find a way to basically do that for free because they'll look at the service people on the other side that want the referral and say, hey, for 25 bucks, I'm sending this out to 1,000 homes, right? So everybody pitches in a little bit and everybody gets marketing. And, you know, you get your brand out there as well.
Same thing about looking for anything local that needs sponsorship. Everybody's starting their business plans right now, all the charities. If there's something you truly are passionate and believe in and can somehow tie it in and get them the promotion, but also get your name attached to it, go for it. That's a great one too. Same with schools. They're going to be needing things coming up for the school year. If you know, I have agents that they really love their church and that's where they do some of their marketing. There's all sorts of opportunities there.
Yep. All right.
I had a tip for the agents as well as the TCs, two separate ones. When I used to go out and pitch for my TC, you can imagine that I could go on and on about what services I have available and who I am and what I've done and all that sort of thing. And I found out that I was over pitching. And I got it down. I finally realized from the results of those calls that pretty much every agent had about 3 to 5 things he never wanted to do again. He can't operate DocuSign. Can you keep my broker off me and keep my file clean? They have 3 to 5 things they really want you to do. So now I give a very short elevator pitch and then I ask them what their needs are. And that has been almost always they'll blurt. They're holding it. They're waiting for you to stop talking so they can tell you what they really what they really need. So one of my tips today was that most agents, and sometimes I even say that, but I will say, Sam, I know that you probably have about 3 to 5 things you never want to do again. What are they? And that has been a very good question. In the TC world, and Sam and I were just talking about this last week, you don't know which office is going to merge. Like we had 3 giant Century 21s merge up here in the last week or so, statewide as well. You also don't know. I've had offices whole dynamics change just because somebody got a new seat in the office. So Sam and I were talking about that your marketing, your exposure has to be a mile wide and an inch deep. So while we would all like one perfect client that pays perfectly, you are then there. I mean, we get calls several times a year from people who've lost their one client and have not made any effort. I have one TC will remain nameless. It's been with the team 15 years, can't even get a $25 price increase and doesn't dare leave because her whole world is in there. So you do have to keep your options open.
Marketing, it's a weekly, it's a daily. You cannot, marketing can't ever stop, no matter how great business is or how slow business is. Because when you come in for marketing, when you've been slow, it's like, well, where were you this whole time? And the other, when you're so busy, you can't count on it staying. We all know, as it's proving, this industry ebbs and flows.
And then as a broker, my favorite program to teach new agents is for door knocking, and especially for the ones who want to door knock. Not everybody does. Everybody has. I once asked my dad, who was a broker, when I changed into real estate, what marketing I should do. And he said, pick 3 and don't split. When one stops working, get rid of it, add another one. But you just need to be consistent. Get it on the street. Worry about improving it later. Okay, you can be. Back in the day, we would make black and white flyers, and the day we were able to go to color, this was super exciting. But the black and whites are okay to get on the street. You can put 4 on a page and cut them down and keep your costs down and all sorts of stuff. But the other program I wanted to talk about was for door knocking, is the Red Wagon program. I have taught this for 20 years. Basically, you decorate up a wagon and you pick your favorite charity or your favorite food bank and take your kids with you. And if it's holiday time, look cute, put on the Santa's hat and whatever you're comfortable with that way. And when you go to the door, you have a reason. You are Mary Jane from Escrow Spectrum, but today we're collecting for the food bank, and we were wondering if we could leave you a bag to pick up in a couple of days, or if you had something you could donate now. Then while that conversation is happening, you have an opportunity to say, and if you're buying or selling, I'd sure be interested in that. But I have had some great experiences with the Red Wagon program. Decorate it up, take your kids with you. One of my agents called me back after and said that somebody tried to donate a bunch of popsicles left over from their kid's birthday, and they laughingly took them and then they handed them out the rest of the houses.
Why not?
That they would as they went. So, and you'll probably take at least 6 to 12 bags of stuff to your favorite food bank as well. So I really have seen the Red Wagon program work for agents, and so I definitely wanted to throw that one out there. And I think that leaves us with Tommy now.
Right, perfect, because while you're still on the door knocking subject, I wouldn't be doing anybody justice if I didn't share my tool that's built into my system. So give me one sec here to figure out how to share my mobile device that's logged on as well.
While he's doing that, I want to remind everybody that at this time of the year, I start asking everybody to be aware of which closings have to close for the end of the year and which ones can go into January. This will save you some emergencies at the end of the year when a person tells you that for tax reasons or whatever has gone on that they absolutely must close or they must go into the next year. End of the year has tax implications, so I just want to make sure that this is an announcement I make this time every year to be aware if you have closings that are anywhere near the end of the year, are they okay to go into the first of the year if need be, or if they must close?
Well, and due to the calendar this year, January only has 30 days. That's the other thing people need to remember, because they're going to be, well, as long as we're by the 31st. No, you're by the 30th.
Good point.
Yep.
All right, so Mary Jane talked about door knocking, and door knocking in the past, if you went back years ago, it took planning, right? It took mapping out where you were going to go. It took taking business cards with you, flyers with you, all the other stuff with you. All that stuff, it's gone. Now, this is my app. This is my California Title mobile app. In here, you can go into farms. You can click on a new walking farm. You can pinpoint where you want to be. And it uses Google Maps, right? So say I wanted to farm this area right here, but I didn't want to farm a big area. I don't need to plan it out in advance. I'm just going to walk 2 blocks, right? I'm going to go farm 2 blocks. And at the end of that, I'm done. In here, you can literally go in and select the area in which you want to walk. And it will automatically come up. I'll name it.
I can see the turnover rate and the owner occupancy rate already. So
yeah, it'll give you the owner occupancy rate. It'll give you, so you'll know how many are rentals, how many aren't, etc. And it'll bring all that in. And then you can view it on a list. And then when you view it on a list, it tells you based on where you're standing at the time, it'll tell you start with this house and go in this order, right? And it does 2 things. One, it gives you the information of the house, how many bedrooms, bath, square footage, how many years owned. But then it tells you owner occupancy, yes or no. And then it gives you a score, and it will allow you to put notes in. So if I click on this top one, it'll open up with a little bit more information. It's a little bit slower because we're online right now. But it gives you some information, allows me to score it at the bottom. So if I had a good conversation with them, I'm going to score it a 5. If they open the door, but they were nice, I may give it a 4, but we didn't have a good conversation. If they didn't open the door, I'm a 3. If they opened the door and had a little bit of attitude, they may be a 2. And if they slammed the door in my face, they're a 1, right? It's going to color code everything. And then at the bottom, you'll see in the bottom right-hand corner, right way down here, there's a thing that says notes. And I can type into the notes. I can add a note, type into it, and it's time date stamped. Okay, so if I go back to this house again and add another note, it's time date stamped. And then once I'm done doing this, I can export this. You'll see it turn green because I changed my score. I can export this into a CSV file, an Excel file, and it's going to all be color coded based on how I scored it, and all my notes will be there as well. Okay, so you know it's a great tool. I don't have to take a pen and a pad of paper with me. I don't even have to take my business cards because that's going to lead me into my next segment with you. And everything's done right in your mobile device, okay, without skipping a beat. So I wanted to share that, MJ, because you brought up door knocking. And so, yeah, that's that. So let me stop sharing on that.
I think you were going to talk to us about your digital card.
Yes, I'm going to go into that right now, which leads me into that is not having to take your business cards or what have you with you. So today I want to share with you guys something that I use that I think would be extremely user-friendly for you to use as well. Not only that is when you hand somebody your business card, it typically has a couple things on it, right? Obviously your name, the company that you represent, your license number. It probably has your email and your phone number, and maybe it'll have your website. And that's usually most everybody's business card right there. What it doesn't have is a lot of times it may not have your Facebook business page or your social medias that you share all your real estate stuff on, or that all your listings and stuff go to, etc. And I'm going to share with you what I use that I think can help you. And it's real easy to do. Let me share this, hold on. It's called Linktr.ee. And what Linktr.ee allows is for you to build a social platform that then is mobile friendly and brings all of your stuff into one place. And I'm gonna show you what that looks like, but just click on sign up for free. And when you do that, it will give you the options. Mine logged me in automatically, it looks like, which it did. Let me get this thing out the way. But what it does is it gives you, this is what it looks like on a mobile device. This first tab over here will take you to my Tommy for Title website, my YouTube page, my Facebook business page, my LinkedIn page, my Instagram page, etc., all the way down. Whatever I want to share with them is here, okay? I did notice one thing that's not in there that I'm going to show you. If I want to adjust, I click over here, and everything is adjustable. The colors, the shapes, everything's adjustable. But I want to add another link. And when you get into it and you start building this, you're not going to have any links located down in here. You're just going to click on add new link. But I want to add a link for my email, okay? So I'll click on this and I'll name it Tommy's email. And here I will put tommyd@caltitle.com, okay? And I'll hit enter, and that will save there. Now, if I don't want that to be on top, I can just drag it right there below my site, okay? But now when someone comes over here, they could click on that, it takes them right to my site. They could click on this, takes them to send me an email. They can go to my YouTube page, etc. So it's called a Linktree, okay? Now, how does this play a part? It's kind of like a digital business card. Anything that you want to direct your clients to can be in here as a link. And, you know, you can customize it. You see, I put my picture, I put my @TommyDutcherks. That's basically my handle on all social medias. You can, you know, list in here whatever you want it to say. And that's all done in Appearance, I believe. So if you go to Appearance, you could change the colors. You could change what it looks like. You add your picture. You put your profile name, you add a little bio, gives you 80 characters, and you just go down and pick what you want. Don't worry about the upgraded stuff. Pick the stuff that is not on an upgrade. And it's self-explanatory. I'm not going to go into how to build this because it's super simple. But if you go down further, you could change the shapes. You could change the color. You could change anything about it, okay? And make it unique to you or your brand. Now, when you're done, you'll click on your profile picture over here, and that will give you your Linktree address right here. And you'll want to copy that, because once you have this done, you'll copy that, okay? Then you'll go into my Tommy for Title site, okay? Title Advantage here. If you don't have access, reach out to me at Tommy4Title.com. and I'll be more than happy to get you set up. But in here, once you're logged in, you'll go to More Tools. You'll scroll down to QR codes, and you're going to add a QR code, and that website that we just copied for Linktree, we're going to add it in there and click Create. That right there, my friends, is a unique QR code to my Linktree. If you want to hold your phone up to your screen and take a picture of that, you will have all my information. Feel free to do so. I can then download this QR code right here. And when I download it, I can then send it to my mobile device as a pic, save it as a picture on my mobile device. And when somebody wants my information, I open up my QR code and I let them scan it. And then it brings in my Linktree, which of course looks like this, right? On a mobile device, which gives them all the information I want them to be able to see and go to. Right? As an agent, as a TC, doesn't matter. It gives them all the information you want to share with them, okay? So if you need a tutorial on this more in depth because you're not as computer savvy, say, or technical savvy, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to, you know, walk you through it one-on-one and get it set up for you. But, you know, it goes hand in hand with door knocking, goes hand in hand with networking. You don't need to carry a stack of business cards anymore. Those business cards should really be for your you know, direct clients that you're working with one-on-one, great. Somebody, you're leaving something behind with somebody that's tangible they can touch, but you have a better perspective of somebody clicking on your Linktree and saving this, or you texting, you know, the QR code to their phone or something like that, and it automatically, you know, all your information's there in one spot. So I wanted to share that with you. It's very similar to what like a digital business card does now. You've probably seen those. They're fairly expensive. They range from $50 to about $250. And you have to carry it with you so that you can tap somebody's phone. And then once you tap their phone, they can click on that link that pops up on their phone, and it basically gives them everything I just showed you right there, whatever you want them to see, because you have to go in and program that digital business card. So it's very similar, except for now you can just have them scan your QR code versus you tap their phone with a card that you have to physically carry. Most people always have their phones with them, regardless of where they go, what they're doing. You could be at the gym in gym clothes with no pockets. I guarantee you probably have your phone on you. So now it gives you the opportunity to have all that with you as you go about your day, regardless of what that looks like, right? So that was my piece on marketing, was really that. I got to share my app as well for door knocking. The other thing the last thing I will share with you guys, because it kind of came up a little bit in our conversation earlier today, was it's how to stay in front. I think MJ, I think you brought it up to where you're like, well, you know, just be willing to answer questions for anybody, regardless if it's your client or not. I 100% agree with you. I think the biggest opportunity for anybody is the client that you did a transaction with that wasn't your client. That makes sense, right? If you're on the listing side of that transaction, you didn't represent the buy side. Guess what? 8 times out of 10, that agent that represented them will not stay in contact with them. And when they end up selling that house down the road, it probably will not be with who they bought from. That's facts. So you can stay in contact with them.
We lost you, Tommy. We lost your sound.
Oh, it's called The Personal Marketing Company. Okay. The Personal Marketing Company. It's tpmco.com. No affiliation to them. I get nothing from it. However, I would suggest you go and look at what they offer, because for $25, they will hit on your client for 5 years. And that's not per year. That's not per month. That's a one-time fee of $25. They will mail out to a client or not a client, right? So if you wanted to hit on, say, the buy side for 5 years, you could, for $25, be the best marketing dollars you ever spent.
And that brings full circle to Sam's comment about staying in touch.
Yep. If you can't physically do it yourself, you can't beat $25 for 5 years of marketing, right?
Brian Buffini has some, for those of you who are familiar with him, has some funny videos on YouTube where he's interviewed people coming out of the grocery store and place where he asks them, have they ever bought a house? Yes. Who's your realtor? Oh,
I don't know.
he was so nice.
They sent us a pie. They did the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The facts are, and this just came out at the beginning of this year, was 8 out of 10 do not remember their real estate agent's name after 12 months. That means that they weren't being hit on from their past real estate agent, because they would have remembered their name, right? But they had forgotten off the top of their head their name. 8 out of 10 will have forgotten. You know, me, if I'm looking at it and I look at it and I go, hey, you know, most agents give a closing gift or of some sort, right, to their client. How about give yourself a gift? You're not giving it to the buyer's agent, right? You're not giving it to the buyer's buyer, the agent's buyer, right? But how about spend $25 and send something nice real estate related to that buyer for 5 years? Who do you think they're going to remember? You or their agent that helped them buy the house that never talked to them again afterwards? So just a thought.
Well, and the same goes for any of us that are servicing agents and things. I have clients that come out of the woodwork because I have them where I do, and I've been rusty on it, but my monthly emails and I do video emails and anything that's a new thing. That's circling back to why I said that CRM is the biggest piece to do all these things we're telling you about. Because until somebody tells me to take them off my list, they're going to still get stuff from me. And that's updates about the contract. Even I have a lot of clients that maybe do 1 to 2 deals a year, and they're independent brokers. I focus on boutique brokerages, and that staying in contact, you'd be amazed how your name, like, do you still TC? It's been 5 years. Of course I do. How can I help? Of course. How can I help you? Oh, I had a question. How can I help?
Yep.
It's all of us. We all need to still do that same behavior and that same thing. And we really need to be working on maintaining that CRM database. That's the foundation to do all the rest of it.
Absolutely. And so, you know, it's one of those things, out of sight, out of mind. You have to stay in front of people. And don't get me wrong, we all get busy. I'm a prime example. You know, when things get busy, everybody gets busy. And when things pull you away from that personal touch, you know, it takes a while to get that back, right? And so, you know, you have to try and stay in front of people and be top of mind. So, you know, I'm okay. I mean, like Sam said, we answer calls all the time. Like 50% of the calls that I take are not title related, but my background, they know that I'm a good resource to call. And so, you know, a lot of things that I help my clients with may not even be pertaining to title in general. And, you know, I get 2 out of 10 calls I get are going to be questions that an agent has or a TC has on a transaction that I'm not a part of, right? Because a title company is saying X or Y or requesting X or Y. So I get a call asking, hey, they're requesting this, they're asking for this, why? Because they're not getting the answers that they need, you know? It's just part of the nature, you know, if you're willing to do that, you know, people respect that. And so.
And I will say, the last time I was a broker, I grew the team from 85 agents to 250 agents. And I was getting a little reward for that at a Christmas party. And they jokingly asked me my secret, and I couldn't resist saying,
yeah,
answer my phone. That's the whole secret to my business. People are pretty good about, you know, hey, I can call you back in 20 minutes, or I can get, you know, I mean, I do prioritize them. They don't get to take me away from dinner, or, you know, my kids, you know, baptism or something. You know, they still get, but they get scheduled, and I can speak to them. So, we do hope that you found something useful here today. And again, remember, our intention was to give everybody a little something, and also give you guys a little holiday break from the upcoming card forms update. I would love to encourage you all to book classes and let us support you. Tommy, you have a request from you saw from Daryl. Yep. If you want, I know everybody has a favorite title rep, and there's some little more stickiness to that than it is for me. But please do book us. We will happily show up and make you look good.
We're not all created equal, but I did put my contact in the chat as well. In there is the link to the page in which all of these Zooms are hosted, which there's a little over 90 of them now. So, you know, feel free to go there and subscribe, and that way you'll get notified when we put more Zoom and Learns up. Yeah, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. We will stay on. We're always last to leave. So if you do have questions, or you want to ask us something individually, we will remain here and answer those for you. So thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you guys.